I'm Chris Oppenheim. People call me Church. I'm the owner of Interstate Ink in Los Angeles, California. We cater almost exclusively to recovering addicts, and we have a program in place to help artists with addiction issues get their lives and careers back on track. We're trying to raise awareness, educate others, and reduce the negative stigmas associated with addiction. We want everyone to know there is hope, we do recover, and most importantly, even broken crayons still color. Welcome to today's episode of the Broken Crayons podcast here at Interstate Ink. I got a really special guest today. He's one of the artists who took advantage of the program we have here to help them get their lives and careers back on track. My friend Vinny. God damn it.
You guys
What's up, dude?
You guys fucked up. What's up, bro?
You tell me, man.
I don't know.
How the fuck did you get into all this shit? We're from the same town. Let's start there. Both from Baltimore.
Yep. Both from fucking gutters. I don't know. I started using when I was real young. Not really sure how, I guess it all started. It's just maybe trauma or something like that. Lost my grandfather or something. Maybe I was running from. Not 100% sure. I'm in therapy now to try to figure that out. But
keep going. Don't back out.
Yeah, I started using when I was like 12. It was like started with marijuana and actually ended with marijuana. You know, at the age of 42. So, but it had a pretty much almost everything, you know, drug-wise in between. My grandmother wasn't much of a drug user as she was an alcoholic. And,
so it runs in your family?
Yeah. And I just, alcohol, I guess watching what it did to her, it kind of turned me off. But, you know, so I thought drugs would be a good idea.
Yeah. I'm going to tone it down a little.
You know, we started off with weed like many people do, but it quickly progressed. You know, by the time I was a young teenager, somewhere around 15 or 16, I was, you know, already messing around with harder shit like coke and heroin. And I think my first rehab, I wasn't even 16 yet, if I remember correctly. I was like 15.
Where was it?
Mountain Manor. in Baltimore City.
Oh, the Baltimore City one?
Yeah, for juveniles.
Yeah.
I went to the one in Emmitsburg too. I graduated. I went there as I got older.
The only treatment center I completed in Maryland was Mountain Manor.
Yeah.
I got high as soon as I got out. But.
Yeah, I got kicked out. Apparently you're not supposed to get involved in relationships with women while you're there. They frown on that.
They frown on it. It's not suggested.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I could 30 years of what not to do. You know, I could go into drug-a-log, but I mean, I think it's just mainly like, I guess, qualifying, right? You know, hey, I fucked up a lot of my life. You know, I've ruined a lot of relationships with my family and friends as a result. You know, if you're watching this, sorry, and I love you, Ma. And you know, it definitely burnt a lot of bridges, for lack of better words. You know, destroyed relationships, really. Didn't really know how to be in a healthy relationship. I guess I always felt like I was that, like, young kid, always fucking running, you know?
Yeah.
And
I definitely know.
They say that when you start using it, stunts your growth or whatever, and I can kind of relate to that.
So, you're from, obviously, we're both from Baltimore. I already mentioned that.
Yeah.
We actually went to the same high school, but we didn't meet till years later.
Yeah, that was weird.
Kind of a lot of the same friends and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you from the city originally, right?
Yeah, originally. My parents got a divorce when I was younger, and we moved out to the county, which is where we both went to the same school without ever meeting. But yeah, I did art school. I went to that Carver Center for Arts and Technology. The first year it opened up.
Where?
Carver Center. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you did that. That's cool.
Yeah, I went there and got expelled for selling marijuana. But they let me back in, and I, like an idiot, I decided to leave and go to Perry Hall so I could hang out with my friends, because that was so important. And I could have probably learned a whole lot more art-wise.
I did the same thing. I went to Calvert Hall for the first half of 9th grade. I got kicked out or left or whatever, but I ended up transferring to Perry Hall.
Right.
It was right down the street from my house.
I mean,
a lot of people don't even know this, but Perry Hall has like the highest drug rate at any fucking school in Baltimore County. It's a fucking shithole.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, friends were everything, Friends were more important in school.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, I wish I would have finished that at the art school. It would have been cool. Would have learned a lot more. But whatever.
Right.
Long story short, my addiction basically took me to being homeless on the streets of Baltimore.
East Side?
Yep. Well, kind of, I was a high-class homeless.
Oh.
Yeah, high-class homeless guy.
Oh, with your fucking hammock?
Yeah.
Heard this story before. Carry on.
I didn't like sleeping on a hard ground or a park bench or anything like that, and so I figured out that it might be a good idea to get a hammock.
Yeah.
So I did a drawing one day. I was drawing outside of a coffee shop where they would give me free coffee and donuts. And this lady came up and was like, "Oh my God, you're really good," and da da da. And being the good dope fiend that I am, I fucking sold her a drawing. And she was like, "Well, what do you want?" And I said, "What I really want is a hammock. Matter of fact, I'll take 2." I got a hammock for me and my friend that I was homeless with. So yeah, we would like run the
doing big things.
Yeah, exactly. But
fuck.
Run the streets during the day and get in trouble and do shit we weren't supposed to, and then at night I would catch a bus out of the city and go somewhere up in the county into the woods and pitch my hammock. And that lasted for a few months, and all in between there, I've been to countless treatment centers. My first meeting, I was in a meeting with a bunch of kids that we know from high school. Some of them are still clean. They stuck around and stayed with it.
Some of them are probably dead.
Some of them are dead.
Dead in prison.
Yep.
I know that. Got a little reunion thing lined up. I already told you about it.
Yeah.
Go hang out with the ones who actually did fucking live through all of it. Something happened with our generation, man. It swallowed a whole bunch of us. It's like I noticed in Perry Hall, the generation before us, they were like taking fucking acid, drinking beer, smoking weed. Our generation was fucking speedballing in the ghetto. And then the generation after us kind of went back to... I was always trying to figure it out. Like, why were we so fucking hardcore? And I could never do it. I could never put it together, like, why? Our generation specifically, it was just fucking a bunch of go-hards. I don't know. But
I mean, there was around that time you had movie stars and, people like, musicians and stuff. They were all dying from the shit too,
Yeah, I do know. You remember that shit well.
It was cool until it wasn't, like they used to tell us drugs are bad, okay, don't do fucking drugs and don't smoke weed. So when we smoked weed and it didn't kill us and nothing bad happened like they said it would, I don't know about you, but I didn't believe them about anything else. I didn't think that heroin was bad.
Well, yeah, and plus we had, back in those days, it was like fucking Marion Barry was the mayor of D.C. got caught smoking crack with a hooker and reelected. So it was like, don't do drugs because there's no fucking consequences. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. I think like I was saying, I started off, going to meetings at a young age, and they kind of like, as they say, and planted the seed or whatever. Like, I wasn't necessarily doing anything. I don't think I was really in recovery then, you know? Like, I was showing up to meetings and I was farting in the meetings to make jokes, which is not a far-fetched from what I do now, but, you know, like...
No steps, none of that.
Yeah, I didn't have any working knowledge of a program. I didn't believe in God, you know, or higher power, or, you know, I wasn't doing anything I was supposed to. I was just basically doing whatever people were telling me to do so I could get them off my back.
Sounds about right.
Definitely thought I was too young to be an addict or to have some type of problem. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Compared yourself out as much as...
Yeah. It was the drugs. You know, any, you know, child using heroin's going to have a problem. I'll just get off the heroin. I'll be okay. You know, and then I found myself, you know, going back to party drugs, you know, pot and acid. And before you know it, I'm, you know, locked up, you know, hands, feet strapped down to a gurney because I'm having a bad trip because I ate too much acid. You know, like...
How old were you?
Might have been 16.
I had a bad trip around that same age. It's pretty fucking crazy. Seizures and all that shit.
Yeah, in my mind, I was being abducted by aliens. Apparently, that was
you were. That wasn't in your head.
That was just the nurses and doctors trying to help me.
Yeah, it was.
I remember when they put a catheter,
yeah.
And while I was on acid, you know what I mean?
Oh no!
I thought like this alien. I thought I was on an alien mothership. I thought there was this like glowing ball of light coming up from in between the table that I was strapped to, and they were doing all kinds of experiments
Seems
on
legit.
me, you know. But
see the problem.
It was horrible. And then, you know, as I was coming to in that moment, the doctors kept saying, "Just tell us your name, and we'll let you out of these restraints." And I remember telling them, "Fuck you," because I thought they were aliens. You know, and honestly, I couldn't even remember my name, you know? And then, like, I'd black out again, and I'd come to, I'd black out, I'd come to. And then finally, I overheard a conversation they were having with my parents, the doctors, and they said, you know, something about acid. I heard the word acid, and I was like, oh, holy shit, this has all been a bad trip. Like, fuck. Like, I've heard about bad trips, but never had one, you know? And it was... Okay, my name's Vince. You know, you let me out of these restraints now. I realize I'm not on an alien mothership.
Yeah.
You know, let me out.
The moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. The same thing happened with me.
But yeah, I mean, after that, I thought, well, I won't do acid anymore. It was because I did too much acid. Not that I won't do it anymore. I won't do that much. You know, I'll listen to the dirty hippie that told me only take one because this is really strong, you know?
That'll change it all.
That'll change it all. You know, moderation. You know, tried
moderation.
Tried the geographic cure. You know, tried moving to Florida. We also have that in common.
Yeah, I cut the ankle monitor off and ran down there from Baltimore. And, roundabout way of getting there, but yeah. Yeah. Definitely gave that a try.
You know, like they say, a problem goes with you type thing, you know. I take me wherever I go. So it was just a matter of time before I started fucking up there, too.
Yeah, of course. Like, I was fucking up down there immediately. I didn't even really try to fucking make any changes, you know?
I gave it my best effort. I moved there with a friend from Maryland who was against the hard drugs. So, you know, we would just smoke weed and drink on occasion and party stuff. It wasn't like completely against heroin and coke and things like that. So like that kind of helped me stay straight for a little while. But, you know, that's where I kind of started a tattoo career. I got a job at a shop, you know, being an apprentice and a shop bitch basically. And,
yeah, artist your whole life.
Yep.
Same with me. I kind of thought tattooing would just be the next logical step. I didn't even make a living when I got into this shit. You know? Just seemed like it would be, you know, a cool direction for my art to go. so to speak. Turns out I can do pretty well for myself. So,
Yeah, it's definitely awesome that we can, make a living supporting ourselves.
doing my hobby.
Doing what
I
we
am
love to do.
fucking eternally grateful for that.
Fuck yeah.
Like, it's pretty amazing. Just having a fucking purpose, so to speak. Like, I think that's what's missing for a lot of guys, man. When they first get clean, it's just, 30, 60, 90 days in, they start thinking, like, what am I holding on to? Like, what am I, you know what I mean? Like, you need something to channel the energy into, something positive. So, how long were you in Florida?
A few years before all that fell to shit. And
What happened there? How did it fall to shit?
One of the guys that I was working with at the shop was, did coke. And I didn't like snorting coke, so I quickly did, started smoking, crack and shooting up and things like that. And everything spiraled out of control pretty fast. Lost the job, left there, came back home, brought a hostage, this girl that was in love with me or whatever, brought her back to Maryland.
What was her name again? I know who you're talking about.
Callie?
Oh, no, that's a different chick.
one. Yeah.
I was thinking of
Psycho?
Yeah. Latino chick.
No, it was a young girl that I met in California. I think or not California, in Florida. I think she just wanted to get the hell out of Florida, It's a small area, as you know.
Well, where in Florida?
Key Largo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely have that in common. That was the place to run to. The Keys.
The Keys disease.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Key West, but it's all the same shit. It's just a little tiny fucking place where no one's looking at you unless you're making huge waves. So if you're running from something, that's the place to be.
Yep. But I mean, I always try to do my best, and then I always self-destruct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
every place I went to, like even
road
in
to
Florida,
hell's paved with good intentions.
Yeah, like even in Florida, I gave it my best effort, and then before I knew it, everything was falling apart again, and I just couldn't seem to stop that pattern of behavior where I build it up and tear it down. It was just, that was my MO.
Build it up and tear it down. That sounds really familiar. So,
yeah, I could build it up quick, but I could tear it down even quicker.
We met at the tattoo shop in Baltimore.
Yeah, I was actually living in a recovery house not far from the shop at that time.
And I was getting high.
I was completely clean.
I was definitely not.
You were definitely not. And I wanted to tattoo and actually learn from you so bad that I was willing to, put myself in a situation and, jeopardize everything because, I wanted to learn how to tattoo like, probably more than I wanted heroin, and so I thought I'd be all right. But after several months at the shop, I finally caved and started using. And it wasn't with you at first.
No, it went there. I fucking remember. Odd that I remember.
I was going to say, you remember anything
from those days, but yeah, I do. I had the little trap house around the corner and shit.
Yep.
But we stayed in contact for the most part, right?
Yeah, I'd relapsed then and got on the methadone program, tried that,
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah, me too.
I was on it for, what? I don't know, I'm going to say like 4 years, I think.
Yeah, I think my longest stint was around 3.5.
Yeah. Cold turkey does shit, dude. That shit was terrible.
Fuck that.
Yeah. But whatever. I'm feeling much better now.
Yeah, we kept in touch, over the years. I'd left, I called my mom. Everybody in my family had pretty much given up on me, years before, if not decades, and like my mom was the only one that never fully gave up. I mean, she was definitely enabled and she finally learned to stop doing that, but she was always there.
My mother was the other way around. She had enough early on, and then at some point she was like, if I don't enable you, I'll lose you. That was like her mentality, And I don't know. There was a lot of tension early on. Obviously, my actions, plus there was like, I ended up serving some prison time because she more or less testified. But I don't know. It's fucking. I guess the point is where I'm at with it now is the two of us are really close. I talk to her every day, just about. And that's the glory of this thing here, which you actually at one point tried to tell me about working steps and getting your shit together. And
yep, that's when I left the city.
Yeah,
I left the city and moved to an area near where your wife is from. Ironically enough,
yeah,
that's where I met my current wife and fiance and
baby mama.
And I got clean in a rehab out there and stayed clean for almost 2 years. Worked all 12 steps.
Yeah.
I was coming down to your trap house in Baltimore getting tattooed, trying to convince you to get clean. I'll never forget it. You were like, nope, fuck that.
Yeah. You said, I don't know, I remember saying to you that fucking, like, tattooing ain't no 9-to-5 gig. This is a motherfucking lifestyle. Now I work 9 to 5. And took advantage of the opportunity I was given to come out here and get my shit together. And decided to offer other artists that opportunity. And then you hit me up. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, you were out here for years, man. You were out here for almost 4 years. We had kept in touch over the phone. They made marijuana legal in Maryland for medical use. So I was decided to leave Narcotics Anonymous and start smoking medicinally because I had, ailments. Between anxiety and pain, I figured, fuck it, I'd give it a try. It's legal. I wasn't really drug seeking as much, but I mean, it also didn't last either. I screwed up again, went back onto hard drugs. I had to get back on a methadone program. Once again, building it up, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down. But, years go by, I finally got off of everything, and the only thing that I was still taking was marijuana.
I think it's important to talk about that because a lot of people, they have a tendency to say just marijuana.
Yeah.
The problem is
underestimated.
The problem is the feelings are the same. No matter what the fucking substance, If you didn't fucking work on anything in the past or, make the necessary changes or, learn the tools to kind of cope with shit, you're basically just substituting the one substance for another. Even though it is quote unquote just marijuana, it's too much for somebody like us, Right?
Oh, for sure. I was calling you. I was on my way to work. I had lost everything again. I was staying at my mom's house, with my fiance and our toddler, and I didn't have custody of my son, or not custody, but my son was living with me at one point, and I didn't have that going for me anymore, and things were always crumbling apart. And I was calling you on my way to, to this shop that I was working at, telling you, like, dude, I don't get it. Like, does it have something to do with being bipolar? Like they recently diagnosed me as bipolar. Does that mean like I'm suicidal some days? Like I feel suicidal all the time almost, and I just don't understand. Then I feel like I could be Jesus or something. I feel like I'm like God's gift to the world sometimes. I'm like these really extreme highs and lows.
Mm-hmm. Which I can relate to.
Yeah. Which is why I was still calling you, you know what I mean? And we have a lot in common.
Yeah, without a doubt. And at that point, I straight up said, why don't you just come out here, dude?
Yeah.
You know, like...
And I remember telling you, but I'm only smoking weed. It's just weed.
Right. Okay.
And your response was, yep, but what goes up must come down.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's the thing that people they don't understand. It's like, that's the case. If you get high, you have to crash. And sometimes it's like, even though it's not such an extreme high, there's still an opposite reaction to get that elevated state of consciousness. You have to crash. And for somebody like us, like I said, the feelings are still the same. You'd still be fucking suicidal just crashing from weed. You know?
And to be honest with you, I think a lot of their like I was only going to a dispensary to get marijuana, because it became legal and I didn't want to go to jail. So I always kept going, get something with my name on it. If I can do it legally, might as well.
Yeah.
And like when I got here, I was pissing dirty for fentanyl. I never done fentanyl. Like so for that to show
from a fucking dispensary.
From a dispensary. So
that's scary as fuck. Dude.
Yeah. I mean, there's other shit in it, I'm sure.
Well, obviously,
But yeah,
that's clear.
I remember being in Maryland, and you told me to watch the video, and I tell this story to our clients because we cater to a lot of people in recovery, and I remember I showed my mom the video of you and Michael talking about you guys have a recovery oriented shop, and if you have this artist that's in your shop that, you're like, look, your art's really good, but, we just can't have the drugs and the alcohol.
Send me
those people. Right. We want your fuck ups. And I remember like, oh, Mom, that's me.
That's me.
That's me. I'm a fuck up.
Fuck up.
My mom was like, son, you're not a fuck up. I was like, oh, Mom, aren't you sweet?
Yeah.
Aren't you sweet?
It's nice of you, but you're an idiot.
Mom, most kids put their mothers in Bentleys. I put you in a constant state of worry and panic. I think I qualify for this position, Let me have this one. And, but yeah, she wanted to know that it was legit and that I wasn't.
Your only qualification was a decent portfolio and a fucking desire to get your shit together, so.
But I think in her mind, that video helped her a lot because it helped her to see that it was real and that I wasn't just giving her another reason. Like another lie.
That video is on the YouTube channel too.
Right,
it's at the bottom of it's the very first one posted.
Because how many times we lied? That's all we did was live lies and manipulations and things like that. People don't even know what to believe anymore when it comes out of our mouth.
Yeah.
So when shit that actually is real and legit and it sounds too good to be true, chances are we were lying. But this time I wasn't. And
she checked into it.
She checked into it.
She checked me out. She did a background check.
Yo, I'm sure they did. Her husband's a cop. I'm sure he did a
warrants.
Background check.
My warrants have been lifted.
But yeah, so I talked to Michelle, my baby mama. I talked to her and I talked to my family and my son, and I let everybody know the opportunity that was presented to me and that I needed to do this. And
most of them thought it'd be a great idea no matter what.
Yeah, everybody supported me. Originally we thought it was just going to be for, maybe 3 months and then I'd come back home. But after getting here and realizing like
it's pretty fucking cool.
The community down here, it's huge. The recovery community is huge. Like with you being directly, affiliated with Michael, I got to meet Michael and, I went through Stairways. I went through the IOP.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's talk about pretty much in order how you got here. Like, I picked you up at the airport.
You guys got me
You
a
had a
plane
fucking
ticket?
backpack.
I had a backpack with a couple tattoo machines and a couple sets of underwear and socks.
No, I think it's. I want to first and foremost mention, like, I'm not saying all this to, like, hey, look what I did for you. Or,
No, I get it.
I just want other artists who might hear this to know just how serious we are.
Yeah.
We're not selling anything.
Nope.
I didn't sell you shit. I didn't, it didn't cost you anything. I paid for your flight. I gave you clothes when you got here.
Yep.
We put you in a sober living. We put you in an outpatient program so you could see a therapist. Got you a sponsor, and you started working steps.
Yep.
All you had to do was show up.
Yep. Stay clean.
Yeah, that part was on you.
Yep.
We can give you the tools, but fucking use them.
Stay clean and I was told follow the leader. You know what I mean? Do what we do.
And I told you, if I am the voice of reason in your life, you have made some serious mistakes. So you basically did everything that was suggested. Where are you at now? Like,
as far as time, Christ, I think it might be tomorrow. I think I might have 8 months since I've been here. 8 months of clean time. I'm still living at the recovery house. Not only did you guys get me out here, you also flew Michelle and the baby out here. I was only here for a few weeks.
Yeah, we were afraid you were going to leave, and we knew, she's an addict too.
Yep.
And got her into
she had some shit going on at home, and it wasn't really
the healthiest environment.
Right. The best thing for her to do was not to be there either. So she needed to get her own self together, and so now she's living in a woman and children's sober living. She's been there for
where is that? It's
7 months. Pomona.
Pomona, yeah.
Yeah, the owner of that place. It's amazing. He's a great guy. He really does care about the women and children that go through that house a lot. It's set up, very similar to how Michael does things. They really care.
Structure and
There's structure.
Steps are required.
Steps are required.
Sponsor.
You do what you're supposed to. Your
Right
life will improve. And the only people that don't benefit are the ones that aren't willing to do the work, or not ready to do the work, or incapable.
That's anywhere though.
Right. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got here. It's been 8 months. Michelle and I are both almost finished step 4.
Right.
We both have sponsors. We go to meetings regularly.
So
step work.
With that whole we're almost done step 4 thing. It's like a pretty good suggestion that you don't make any fucking large decisions in life until you're done. Step 4 and go over it, which is step 5. But you're otherwise about ready to look for your own place, right?
Yep.
So you came out here with nothing. You got your car out here.
Yep.
You got your family out here, and this is in what time? It's about 8-9 months now.
About 8.
About 8 months. Wow. I mean, you don't like to project, but the future obviously fucking holds. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's like where you're at now. You can assume, and it's a safe assumption, and if you keep doing what you're supposed to do, you'll have your own place, and she'll have a job of her own, possibly a career. You said she wanted to work in treatment and shit, right?
Yeah.
Considering that?
She's definitely considering it.
Good for you guys. Like, my wife works in treatment. I know so many people that do. And my hat's off to you. I'm surrounded by. My hat's off to them. I'm surrounded by addicts all the time too. But it's a different level of dealing with it. I couldn't do it, dude. I don't think I could work in treatment.
Yeah, let me say that I remember when I first got here, right? Now, you know this. Not many other people could relate, but we're both being from Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like leaving a war zone.
Yeah.
You're fucking
but
PTSD.
Like, when I got here and I got put in one of Michael's recovery houses, it was, in comparison to what I'm used to, it's a mansion. I'm like, in the recovery houses in Baltimore City were like
there's rats,
roaches, holes in the wall, and I'm like, they're pitching drugs right outside the doorstep.
Yeah, they straight up set you up.
Yeah,
like, they'll take your deposit, tell you it's non-refundable, and then plant a drug deal on the front porch to give you that first free one. And you test positive, and they throw you the fuck out. Yeah. Just keep your deposit, and they just keep it moving like that.
Little racket they got going.
Yeah. I know some of the.
Well, yeah, out here it wasn't like that. Shit, my bedroom, was, the house is gorgeous. You know what I mean? So when I first got here, I was like, people have problems staying clean in this environment? You know what I mean? Like, weather's nice. Well, it rained a lot when I first got here.
It's so funny because my first house I lived in when I came out here was Cat Williams' old house.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Turned into a sober living.
So it's just wild, like the difference, but.
Yeah, they do similar stuff in South Florida. As you know, with the treatment's really big down there too.
Yeah.
But aside from getting involved with some of the people, I didn't know anything about it. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is the first time I've seen this, like you're saying, the fucking mansion sober livings and all that shit. That was new to me too, bro.
Yeah, I remember I was only here for maybe a couple weeks, and I went to pick up a guy from Malibu Detox. I went with my house manager. He's like, come on, I'll show you, around California. And we go to Malibu Detox, and I called you, and I was like, dude, you're telling me if I relapse, I get to go here? Because if that's the case, I'm getting high, right? Soon. And you're like, no.
No, because you don't have insurance, loser.
You don't have insurance, bud. You're scholarshiped here, remember?
You get high, I can come here?
Like, I've never seen a rehab look like wow. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
Well, holy shit.
That's a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion. Yeah,
I get it.
A lot of these people...
It's like a vacation.
Use it as like a fucking vacation, get their fucking weight back, get some strength back, and hit the streets again. And I don't know. Plus, so here's the best part. Narcotics Anonymous. How much does it cost?
Nothing.
Right. It's free. You can toss a couple bucks in the collection plate if you want, but it's fully self-supporting. Right? How much does it cost to work steps with a sponsor?
Financially, nothing. It's completely free.
Right.
You don't even have to pay for books if you don't have the money for them.
But this rehab is $75,000 a month, and it's fucking, you got horseback, and it's like, come on. Fuck. Does that really get to the root of the problem? Does that help? I don't know. Whatever. I never had insurance, so I never went through a place like that. I always went to state facilities, and thank God, because I think you do better if the place is kind of a shithole. I don't want to come back to this. I don't want to have to do this all over again. It's not a joy to be there, but I don't know. I think a big part of it for me this time around was I just didn't want to live like that anymore, So whatever opportunity I was presented with, I was taking advantage of it, That makes sense?
Yeah, of course it does. I can definitely relate. You already know. But I mean, here back to the touch on the whole reason I left Maryland was being suicidal. I was here, for my first few months here, those feelings lessened, but they were still present.
Mm-hmm.
And there was even one point in time where they increased again and started coming back full force almost. And, I remember, I just got to express gratitude, because I remember talking to you, if it wasn't for you and people in recovery that are, changing and living differently, I wouldn't know the right steps to take to help myself live differently, and to not want to die, and one of the things that was always suggested that was kind of sounding cliche and I didn't really understand was make a gratitude list, or just wake up and start listing things you're grateful for, you know. And I never, like, I've done it, but never like lived by it. And I had everything here, you know, like I'm living in a nice place, you know, everything's taken care of. I got a great job. You know, my
got the old lady and the
kids here. You know, I get to visit my son in Maryland. Hopefully I'll get him out here for the summer. You know, I'm talking to my mom. You know, we're having a great relationship. You know, like things are getting better than they have been in a long time. And I'm still feeling like I want to kill myself. So I decided to try the whole gratitude list thing. And in that moment when I'm so suicidal or depressed, I didn't really feel grateful. You know, there's even things like my children having a job, having a house. I didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, I didn't, none of that matters like it should.
I get it.
You know, the emotional imbalance or whatever is so
ingrained in you.
Yeah, it's hard. So I literally just started listing anything I could see with or think of. The first things, anything that popped in my head.
I love lamp.
I love lamp. I'm grateful for lamp. You know, I'm grateful I can pee. I gotta pee, and I'm grateful I can pee. I'm grateful I can walk.
Grateful I got a pot to piss in.
I'm grateful. Like I would just, I'm grateful for it and say it. I'm grateful for it and say it.
Yeah.
Or say it and say, you know, and before I knew it, within a matter of minutes, like maybe 15 minutes, it might have taken me 10 or 15 minutes of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I no longer felt like I wanted to kill myself.
It's the mindset. It's the perception that we change. You know, like I can't believe the outlook I have on things nowadays.
But that kicks in quicker than acid. It takes like an hour for acid to kick in. And I thought maybe that would be a good idea. You know?
Kicks in quicker than acid. Oh, shit.
But yeah, it was, and then it just became part of my daily routine. I still do it. Because I don't want to.
What, acid?
Yeah. I don't want to go back to feeling that way.
Well, it's.
So I continue to just be grateful every day.
It's like you said, it's a mindset, bro. Live. Oh, yeah? Live on what?
My Instagram.
Nice.
What the fudge?
5 minutes.
5 minute warning.
5 minute warning. That's actually cool because we're fucking.
Jeez, what you gotta go back down there for? Fuck. Keep moving upward.
I know I can make it look better, buddy.
It only hurts not so much here, but here.
Right, this general area. Anyway, well, you wanna got anything else you would like to touch on? Anything else you'd like to say? Maybe if there are other artists out there, who are struggling, let them know we got a fucking spot for them.
You having this opportunity available for people like us is amazing. Like,
it's a hard industry to stay clean in.
it is. And to be able to do what I love, like you were saying before, has a huge help in staying clean.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to continue to do what I love and stay clean.
In a safe environment.
In a safe environment. Yeah. So it's, you know.
Yeah, I've been patronized to no extent because I'm the tattoo guy. Like, here, give him some of this. Fucking guns, drugs, whatever. It's right fucking at your fingertips when you're the tattoo guy, but we don't do any of that shit here. You know? I'm like, as far as your fucking schedule goes, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with the old lady and the kid. I don't care. Stay clean. You know? Hey, do you mind if go to a meeting? Yeah, fucking by all means. You know what I mean? Yep. Hey, I'm gonna be in late today. I'm doing step work. Perfect. Yep. Because that's what was said to me early on. When I got here, I was like, what are my shop responsibilities? We don't care. Stay clean. What are the hours? We don't care. Stay clean. Now, granted, I was tattooing out of their vape shop, and I was, you know, it's not like it was an actual fucking, but still, like that was the only requirement. It's all they expected of me. And still, to this day, that's all they expect of me. You know, like they fucking put this place in their name, like, you know, Michael and Travis. Like, here's a fucking tattoo shop. Just stay clean. Okay, well, what if I help other artists? I think that's a great idea. Just fucking stay clean. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's cool that you're, you know, that you were able to take advantage of the situation and make your way out here. And, because we do have a history together.
Yeah.
I do know you. You know what I mean? From the past. And anyway.
I'm definitely fucking more grateful than it probably shows.
No, it shows. It does. It really does. But anyway, we're about out of time.
You're so lucky I didn't have to fart.
God, it was going so well. Had to ruin it, didn't you? It's just who you are. That's ingrained in you too.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Broken Crayon Show here at Interstate Ink. Please like, comment, share, help us spread the word so these voices can be heard. Peace.